Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Keeping It Real on Purpose, and I am your host, Edna White. So glad to be here with you today because you could be anywhere else, but you're here, keeping it real, all on purpose. And today, my esteemed guest is none other than the most brilliant Laura Brennan Ballet, the international and three-time Amazon best-selling author of The Science of Empowerment. Laura is a transformational thought leader who developed the groundbreaking J3 equals capital E formula, a powerful tool for shifting mindset, unlocking potential, and rewriting the inner code that shapes our lives. Through her deep work with thought energy, Laura teaches us how to tap into our own power, disrupt limiting beliefs, and create a life driven by clarity, purpose, and conscious choice. Get ready, because here she is. Welcome to the show, Laura Brennan.
Hello, beautiful Edna. I love this. I have to learn how to contain my personal energy when we start to collaborate and converse. It's just how I live. So I love
Yes,
it. Thank you. It's an honor to
you're
be here.
welcome. I am excited. So, how do you show up in the world?
Mm, Authentically,
Okay.
100% authentically.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
good, the bad, the pretty, the ugly. Um, I can't move around it. It's I wear that energetic connection to
Mm-hmm.
whatever I'm going through, which is part
Yeah.
of why the formula and the science of empowerment was created
Mm-hmm.
to learn how to regulate and temper some of the reaction
Uh-huh.
that we go through.
Oh, absolutely. We go through a lot of that. We go through a lot of that. So, of course, I have your book, and I have three things that I want to ask because I wanted clarity on it. But we're going to talk about the science of empowerment. You introduced the capital J3 equals capital E formula. Can you
Mm.
break down what that means and how it can shift someone's life trajectory? Which I
Yeah,
love that word. I
yeah.
love that word.
Well, I love that word too because for me it changes my perspective on feeling like there's a hardship
Hmm.
to a challenge, to an
Yeah.
exploration, and that I
Yeah.
get to choose the way I feel as I'm going through that experience.
Hmm.
So I
Right.
always give a heartfelt acknowledgement. My brother Christopher actually created this formula that
Hmm.
then sparked
Yeah,
and
I
ignited
read that.
the
Hmm.
science of empowerment. And the formula
Yes.
is this beautiful, simplistic way of creating empowerment shifts when
Hmm.
confronted with a challenge. And it's 5 principles, and it's the awareness to 3 fields of energy. And we all know there's
Hmm.
really 2 fields in the quantum reality of energy, negative and positive.
Hmm. Right.
And we placed neutral in there because I'm sure, like you and me and the listeners, we are not quite skilled enough to go from negative to positive in the snap of a finger. There's
Right.
a lot of big space between that.
Yeah.
So this power of neutrality, and when we
Yeah.
can really master and or align with it, it becomes a superpower. So we
Yeah.
recognize negativity and we
Hmm.
learn through the skill and the tool of the J3 equals E. And we then neutralize a lot of the issues, a lot of the challenges that face us on a day-to-day basis, and then
Hmm.
that allows us to go into a more positive mindset and state of being. So 5 principles, and I'll be more than happy to share them with the audience. It is awareness,
Hmm.
willingness, accountability, critical thinking, and energy. And anyone listening can think of a present day challenge and ask yourself, what am I aware of? What am I willing to do about this challenge? What
Yeah.
is my accountability? No longer blame, put it out there. My accountability to this said challenge. Critical
Hmm.
thinking, the 4th principle, is a powerhouse. This is
Hmm.
where we suspend all the emotionality and we think with a higher level intellect. And
Hmm.
now we move into energy, negative, positive, neutral. Which one am I?
Right.
And if we're holding on to this negative thought process around that challenge, we're going to stay in a negative state of being. And now we get to position ourselves into that power seat. I'm going to start to activate a bit more neutrality to the negativity, and it already begins to empower you. So 5 principles, 3 fields of energy, create an empowered life. J equals E. So the J is the Jekyll principles. Those are the 5 principles.
Okay, awesome. So I want to go back to the neutrality, because your book came in such a great time for me. Again, I'm going through the journey of going through that library of things and pulling out what shines up and kind of asking the proverbial questions for myself. And empowerment had the way the community or the world says empowerment, it never sat right with me. It never sat right with me until I read your book. Yeah. And I said, this is the truth about what empowerment is. Now, getting to neutrality, I have been transitioning from one negative limiting belief to the total opposite, right? Like we're just saying, to the total positive. For a couple of days, I was in the was in the neutral zone for a while, because I had to start to convince myself, right? Right? I had to convince myself. I know that this is right. This positive, thought here is going to get me past this limit. I know it's the right thing. I need to feel it. So in the neutral zone, all these feelings start happening.
Yeah, they do.
Let's talk about that neutral zone and what is happening there.
So again, look at everything as either a trigger or a mirror. And when we start to, and I'm going to use this word, when we start to align with that understanding, we quickly become aware that that's a trigger. Yeah. And so even when we're in the neutral state, we really are still in the negative state. We're starting to exercise a little bit of expansion. We're starting to expand perspective, but we're still thinking and feeling from a past experience that is affecting the moment of presence.
Absolutely.
And we all do this, but this is the beauty of the science behind creating an empowered life. We no longer need to stay connected to that belief or that perception, that perspective, because what happens is that belief becomes a habit, right? The habit becomes part of the personality. And then that personality is what the ego stays connected to and with. Now, when we move into the science of empowerment, we're starting to tap in and tune into a higher level of thinking. Even if you don't believe in the moment that you have this ability to really think greater than you feel, to become greater than the present challenge. Again, I'm going to use my word, suspend that and know that you have it. The process of being in that neutral state with all this different chatter coming at you is really just the opportunity of new reflection. It's, this used to bother me. It still is bothering me, but now I'm starting to think a bit differently. This is a cool place to be. Let me continue to explore that rather than this.
That's where I am. That's exactly where I
am. And it's a great place to be. It means you are advancing. You are searching out and exploring what is yet to be discovered. And that is what I call your zone of potential. I firmly believe, and now science is starting to allow the general population to know this, that coded within our DNA is the absolute brilliance of the universe. That can be God power, universal power. What each person has their own connection to a higher place of understanding. So however you get there, whatever vehicle you travel in, beautiful. But you have inside of you the coding system that the universe is made of. We are made up of actual elements that create the world.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a power that is untapped because we're not raised, our great grandparents, all the way down to our parents, they were not seeded with that knowledge per se. If we're lucky, maybe we had a grandmother that had this really cool wisdom, or a
Mm-hmm.
grandfather, or a parent. But most of us are very influenced by our parents'
Right.
unhealed issues and society's placement of what those unhealed issues
Right.
can mean to us. When you really start to create an
Yeah.
empowered life, this is about you exercising and authorizing your own ability to create something that goes past the masses. This is really becoming an outlier. How you think, how
Mm.
you feel, how you move. Exercise and authorize your
That's good.
brilliance, and it's in you. Don't doubt it. Don't doubt it.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
love how you're thinking.
Well, that's good. That's good stuff. You made me forget the question I was going to ask.
That's okay, because the beauty
You
of
made me
this is
forget the
your
question.
mind.
Now I don't want to move.
But well, don't, because your mind is starting to connect with, I don't have to stay back there. I don't have to question, why
Mm-hmm.
am I still feeling this way? You can begin to question, how can I feel
Mm-hmm.
differently? How can I release that
Right.
hold
Different
and
questions.
just
Yeah.
start to create something
Mm-hmm.
amazing for
Mm-hmm.
myself? You know, we think we have to stay in contract
Right.
to the past. We don't.
Right. Right. Oh, that's good. Okay, so this also being in that neutral zone brings up questions. It's like the Pandora's box. It's not just one issue, it could be several issues. So again, I'm learning to ask the right questions, and then the right answer comes to me. And then I'm able to do something with that answer to actually say, maybe there is something different here. And maybe this would, benefit me. And letting go, and letting go of the thought that maybe I see now the ABC did that, letting go of that thought. I believe I can leave that behind now. So asking questions and making statements like that to yourself is now allowing you to get to that positive state quicker.
Yes.
So I like that you said that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And again, think of the challenge, whatever it is right now that's at the forefront of your mind, and ask yourself,
Mm-hmm.
what am I aware of
Mm-hmm.
about that challenge? Just what's your gut tell you? You don't have to answer here, but in your mind. Beautiful. What am I willing to do
Right,
about it?
right. Yes.
Boom. What is that right there? What is that
Mm-hmm.
visceral gut code telling you? Right? Accountability. My father did this. My mother did this. Right? We all
Right.
have it. Alcoholism, sexual abuse,
Mm-hmm.
abandonment, neglect, poverty mindset
Right.
mentality. Whoever's the president at the time.
Right.
The school system. We all understand that. But that then puts the blame, and some of it is correct, outside of our autonomy. Now we are
Right.
expecting something outside of ourselves to
Right.
dictate and direct how we think and feel about our very presence in this human experience.
Mm.
Boom, self-accountability. It's no longer out there. I own it now. I'm aware of it. I'm willing to do something about it. I own the power and the potential within it. Critical thinking, I've got this now. I'm not going to be riddled with this emotionality, right? Blame, guilt, shame, all of it. Now I'm going to think as if I've already arrived to this elegant place of high level intelligence. What would I do if I already made it through and discovered that coded within my DNA is this brilliant genius part of my brain that I've yet to tap into?
Mm-hmm.
How would it now direct me through awareness, willingness, self-accountability, critical thinking. I've got it. Energy. I've been very negative. Again, blame, shame, guilt, looking for someone else to make me think and feel differently than I do.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm neutralizing all of that negativity. Now I can start to create a higher level of awareness, willingness, accountability, critical thinking, energy. So my set point is always neutral. And if for any reason something gets a little bit under my skin, negative, I know how to recalibrate that right away. And now my neutral set point, to go from neutral to positive, once you become very skilled in this, there's nothing like it in the world. Nobody outside can influence you anymore. You just don't let it in.
Yeah. Something came up for me for the positive while you were talking about accountability and who told you from the outside you couldn't. And I just remembered, because again, when you try to move from one negative to a positive, these Pandora things, once you open one, something else comes. So this just came out that I was told that I couldn't have it by a higher, like someone symbolic of having a high knowledge of religion. I was told I couldn't have that. I didn't think it was there, but it just came out when you were talking.
Yeah, so that's beautiful. So again, this is the power. So I really am starting to kind of coin this phraseology as in power, IN. So
yes,
right there,
absolutely.
that's an empowerment move that just happened.
Right.
That's
right.
A very actionable, energetic structure that just happened to you. I remember someone that maybe I admired or I looked up to, or even if I didn't, I was told that is a person that I am supposed to. Now I'm understanding that they said something to me that was negative. That has nothing to do with me. That's on them.
There's nothing to do with me, right?
That's on them. Now, you may have pulled in that trigger, that experience to teach you a lesson along the way. But there again, now you understand. My awareness is that is nothing against me.
No.
My awareness is that was a default in them.
Right.
Anyone in a position of mentorship or leadership would
leadership
only give you neutral to positive opportunities. Anything that came through as a negative, and we know the difference, that's on them. So now what do you want me to do? Let it go. It's not you. It is definitely not you.
Yep. Let it
now
go.
What are you accountable to? Now you're going to start to change that thought. Every time you feel, I don't got it. Now you're going to know, no, I do. Now I'm starting to explore, how am I going to have it? How am I going to authorize that directive of, this is mine to have?
Right.
100%. Now you're already exercising the critical thinking aspect. You've already, here we go. You've neutralized a negative input from an outside influence that didn't do the work to know differently, to actually support you in rising. For whatever reason, they wanted to keep you in contract to something negative. Now you already know, I'm neutralizing this all day long. I'm moving into a positive position. Every time I hear the thought, that isn't mine, I don't deserve it, I'm not worthy, you don't have it. Now you recalibrate that thinking with, it is mine, I'm on my way, it's coming to me, I'm manifesting it. Now you're starting to think greater than you feel in the moment. You're starting to really kind of redesign that aspect of the personality that believed something. Now the habit, came after the belief, and the behavior is locked in place. But you are an empowered human being, and now you're going to shift behavior, habit, aspect of personality. You're starting to develop the mindset to a starting point of neutrality.
That's real good. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is what the science of empowerment is all about. We can't give everything away because we will be here all day, right? From this 3-time Amazon best-selling author. What inspired you to turn your insights into this formula to maybe a master class, to a course? What inspired you to do that?
Yes, I've noticed that people are sad and they're lost and they feel so disempowered just in a
Mm-hmm.
general way of life, whether it's through their work environments, they're having difficulties and challenges with their personal relationship with self, certainly with
Mm-hmm.
spouses, partnerships. Well, try to raise kids. I have two in this day and age. That'll send you right off the cliff. So I wanted some really cool wings to fly every time I felt like I was jumping. I
Mm-hmm.
really just felt, how can I? Well, I asked the question early on in my life. This is how part of how it was raised, but how can I be in service to others? Even if I didn't have a lot to give, my parents taught my brother and I that you can still offer, you can still gift something that will make a difference in someone's life, whether you give $1, whether my dad, my stepfather, who's long passed, was born in 1910. He grew up in the Depression. He would explain that you can go to the local apothecary, you can buy a bar of soap for 25 cents, you can gift it
Mm-hmm.
to someone. We had homeless people around where we grew up. You can offer a sweatshirt off your back, whatever it may be. We were
Mm-hmm.
always raised to know that we can be in service at any given moment. And it doesn't have to be this big, earth
To do,
shattering
yeah.
change. It could be the smallest. We were always taught to pay it forward, buy a cup of coffee, offer $5 for the person getting gas behind us, even if I couldn't afford to fill their tank. It's these small moments of connection to the human condition and how we absolutely create an energetic ripple effect out. And I wanted to find a way. And so I started doing this. And then when I watched my brother train Olympians in training, I said, what about us regular kids, like regular people?
Yeah.
We're not like born and bred and training 3,000, 4,000 reps for one skill. What about the
Mm-hmm.
skill of just figuring out how to get through the day? And so I
Right.
sat down, and everybody, no matter where I went and I would talk, they'd be like, where is your book? Where is your course? Why are you not
Yeah.
coaching? And finally, I was like, okay. And then I sat down, and 5 years later, the science of empowerment was created. So it's just
Gotcha.
my way of
Mm-hmm.
helping others. It's knowledge that they can read, very affordable read. It's a master class in personal remembrance of how amazing and beautiful each and every one of us truly is.
Well, girl, you done said a mouthful and you brought us to how amazing we all are.
Yeah.
And we have to close this part of the show, but and even wrap it up. But how can we find you?
Yeah.
Looking around, how can we find you?
Yes, go to the website, thescienceofempowerment.com. Even if you never bought the book, even if you don't hire me to speak, I'm not on your podcast, any of it, there is a copious amount of knowledge and insight to ignite something in the reader. There's blogs and articles. I'm all over LinkedIn, Facebook. I've got a YouTube channel, but everything is just starting. But just reach out. There's an area in the website where people, when they purchase the book or the Kindle, is $3. You can email me. You can say, hello, I've read something, I have a question. And there's so many people that I offer a free 15-minute discovery call to answer something for them. And then, of course, I have lots of clients around the world for coaching and speaking engagements. So thank you.
You're so welcome, and we are so glad that you were here with us. This is Edna White and my esteemed guest signing out for today. Bye for now.
Bye.